we always have somebody sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
15 minutes, all of us.
Ooh.
Oh no, 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 no. Cut it,
That
cut
is
it back.
creepy.
No, cut it back on. Cut it back on. Dog. All right, so we're actually gonna do 2 more reactions we have to go, and then that is it. This time we're gonna reacting to Ohio State Reformatory. Reformatory. I think is ParaPsyCon 2025, which I think they announced it that it's gonna happen. I believe for next month, which is actually cool. And of course with ParaCouple Vlogs 24, and it's one of my good favorite of mine, Cody and Satori. We're finally back, and like I said, I'm actually gonna react to this, and then I'm gonna wait till next month from the beginning of May, and then I'll probably do at the end on Friday, which that could happen later on. So yeah, I hope it might happen later on. If not, then we're gonna switch it up and see what I can do just in case, because a lot of things might have happened like next month. But yeah, we're finally back once again for Cody Satori once again for over a long times, and looks like they're at Ohio, which I had never been in. I hope I could go to Ohio, which I could try. So hey, at least I might enjoy it anyway. So yeah, but yeah. So let's see some more of those paranormal adventures, of course. So here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, it's Cody.
And it's Satori.
And welcome back to another video. This video is actually going to be a little bit different than our usual investigation vlog type videos. So we are currently gearing up for the 2025 ParaPsyCon. Now, if you haven't heard of ParaPsyCon before, it's a paranormal convention that is hosted at Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. Now, if you haven't heard of OSR, Ohio State Reformatory, it is probably one of the most haunted locations here in the United States. It's been featured on multiple different paranormal television shows and different streaming shows and things like that. And it hosts ParaPsyCon, which we're going to be at May 16th to the 18th of this year. It's coming up in a few weeks. So we thought in this video we'd show you around a little bit.
Yeah, we can't put into words just how massive and grand this location is. If you've ever heard of the movie Shawshank Redemption, Ohio State Reformatory was actually a major setting in that movie. So a lot of what you're seeing in the background was Ohio State Reformatory. So if you are a fan of iconic movies, or you're just a fan of history or hauntings, definitely come to Ohio State Reformatory and check out ParaPsyCon if you're in the area. Along a road trip we were recently taking, we had the opportunity to stop at Ohio State Reformatory and see our friend Kathy, who is a co-organizer of ParaPsyCon, as well as other staff members that we really got to meet and spend time with.
Tom was awesome.
Tom was awesome. So we got to see Kathy and Tom, and what you're going to be seeing is a little bit of a walkthrough we're doing.
Alright, so we're going to teleport over to Ohio State Reformatory right now, and then we'll be checking in throughout the video and kind of giving you some information about what you're going to see.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, so we are inside Ohio State Reformatory, and our good friend Kathy and Greg and their team are the ones that run ParaPsyCon, which we're going to be at next month in May. So definitely check out the description below for all the ticketing information and everything you need to know about it. But Kathy and Tom, one of the tour guides here, is going to give us a quick walk around just to show you guys what this place is all about. It looks amazing from the outside, and it's a maze inside. It's really, really cool. Right now we're in the museum section of Ohio State Reformatory. So even if you're not into the paranormal, there's something for you to do here, which is great.
There's plenty of experiences. We're not going to include all of the experiences in the history in this video, because this place really survives off of funding through these experiences. So definitely come and check it out for yourself.
So one of our first stops at Ohio State Reformatory was visiting with Old Sparky. Now, this was a very eerie room. We got a lot of weird feelings in this area, and I think it's because of the history of what this chair actually was.
Now, this is an electric chair. From 1897 to 1963, 315 people were actually put to death with this electric chair. Most were men, but there were 3 women that were executed via this electric chair as well.
Now, this electric chair wasn't part of Ohio State Reformatory. It actually came from Columbus Penitentiary, and it's now on display here as one of the artifacts in the museum.
And when was this acquired?
Okay, 2015. It's actually, it was used up to 1963, because they don't do any more electrocutions in the state of Ohio. Okay, so, but it was built in 1896. Okay.
Wow. So you can see all these nice displays and everything. All the money raised from ParaPsyCon goes into helping this place out. Kathy was just saying that this place looked totally different when they first started investigating here in 2004. So you can just imagine all the remodels they have done from the money that they've raised.
This room right here is indicative of the whole reformatory. The average Walmart is 180,000 square feet. We're 250,000 square feet. Surface to surface, we're 3 floors plus a chapel and an infirmary. So what you see here is very much what the whole building looks like, even the top, which is Romanesque architecture.
Yeah.
Well, they used it because there's dirt on top of that along the course here, and instead of being flat where it can cave in, it's like the old egg conversation.
So Tom just said how big this place is. Again, this is just like the museum portion. So you definitely have to come and take a tour here, at least if you can't make it to ParaPsyCon, because there's just so much to see.
Take 1 minute, and I'm going to lay a foundation for you.
Okay.
There are 4 pillars to a reformatory. The difference between a reformatory and a penitentiary: reformatory is to reform, to reflect; penitentiary, penance, to pay for your sins or pay for your crimes. Okay. The first one is a moral compass. You have to have God, and that was very important. Okay. They didn't care what kind of God; they just wanted a moral compass, something to give you a right or wrong. The second one is education. The average education in 1896, moving forward, was a second-grade education. The third one is you had to have some sort of vocation. And that vocation, there was like 20 vocations here, okay? And the fourth one is you had to get along with people. You couldn't shiv anybody. You don't make right friends. So that was the 4 that came in. It was typically an 18-month stint, okay? And if you didn't get it the first time, they bring you through it the second time. And that's including education. You went from the 2nd grade to the 8th grade, okay? There was no third time. Third time, you went back to the penitentiary.
Wow.
Okay?
So when Shawshank came out and that kind of like was the beginning of saving the building, from there, how did it get to here? Like, it's so well preserved, there's so many fixes.
Well, what had happened was Shawshank came in and they had already torn down several of the buildings in the back prior to Shawshank, correct? Okay, it was after Shawshank. They started to go ahead and start tearing down the building and everything, but Mansfield, the locals and everybody didn't want to see this building torn down, and then they created the Mansfield Reformatory Preservation Society, and they came in and under bid they got $4 because it was cheaper for the state to sell it to them than to tear it down. So the Preservation Society came in and started their work, and eventually began with those kids, with the paranormal programs and everything, so that the paranormal programs were what really started to bring in some form of money. And then from there, it just started expanding to more and more and more. All of the money that was received went back into this building and still does.
And that didn't happen until 2000. In 95 to 2000, we didn't own it. We were guardians.
Wow.
Because the state didn't
care
know us.
about it,
Didn't
yeah.
say, first of all, after 78, the state wanted out.
Yeah.
And where in 1896, they were handing out cigars and pocket watches. By 1978 is the state said, I don't want anybody, first of all, who wants to come to a broken down prison? Meanwhile, we've had 170,000 people a year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it really changed that, but really when it hit, so
Yeah,
the,
the
paranormal, and then we started doing guide. In fact, you ever see when you go to a baseball game, the guy who used to have that, the gal who used to have the thing, he's selling hot dogs?
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's the way it was here. We didn't have anything formal. They'd call you up at 2 o'clock and they'd just say, hey, we got a bunch of people who want to see a video. I mean, a tour. So they kind of did it. And then it just, then we had a board of directors and it just kind of built from there. But you know, people just love the paranormal. I mean, we get it all the time.
That's amazing because you know what? There are some locations nowadays that need funding and they're terrified to go into the paranormal side of things because they don't want to seem like a joke. But you're proving that if it's done right,
Yes.
it could be huge for preserving
You
buildings.
have to look outside the box.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's so much more to this building than just paranormal. It began with paranormal at the beginning, but like you said, people wanted
And then it
tours. They
grew.
want to see it. There's people that have been in here that want to see it. We've had inmates that have given tours here. They've been,
Mike
Wow.
Humphreys,
Paranormals,
yeah.
yeah.
Story about him right there.
and we've actually heard him in here after he passed.
Really?
Yes, it was during one of our ghost walks. We had a group that was in the chair room. These doors were locked and they have this bolt up. And it was on the outside of the door. So we had a couple of volunteers that were standing at the steps and they heard somebody in here coughing. And they were like, okay, what's going on? So when the tour guide came out, they told the tour guide, who's Eric. And Eric said, oh, that's Becky, who's our archivist, because she had been here. And then Eric said something to me, and I go, Becky left. And there's no way, because this was on the outside, for anybody to get in and out
Oh.
from the inside.
Wow.
We associated it to him. Somebody that was on the tour who claimed that she was psychic, she said that she saw a tall man, and he was tall, a tall man stand by the steps and just went after you. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
Mike Humphreys.
Okay, so again, we are currently just in the museum portion of OSR. The place is massive, as you heard Tom say, and there's just so much to see in this museum.
Yes, this museum exhibit showcases items from not just OSR, but other institutions such as penitentiaries, prisons, correctional facilities throughout Ohio that have existed. So it teaches you really the history of these institutions in Ohio, as well as many items that were saved or historically recovered from these institutions.
Yeah, so again, if you or someone in your family plans on going to ParaPsyCon and you're really not into the paranormal, or you have someone in your family who's not really into the paranormal, this is probably going to be a great place for them to kind of hang out, because they can learn so much about the prisons and reformatories in the state of Ohio. And the cool thing about ParaPsyCon is there's just so much to see.
Yes, so this is a really interesting segment, a really interesting area of the location. Long story short, this location is not just a haunted attraction. It is actually a major historical location and teaches people the stories that come out of the area.
Yeah, so up next we're going to be heading upstairs to probably one of our most favorite spots in OSR. You're going to find out what that is in a second, but first Tom's going to tell us something about the stairs, right? Ironically, the stairs. The stairs have a story.
Two things that
boy.
Levi Schofield, who was the architect, by the way, his father was an architect, his grandfather was an architect, and he was a captain in the Union Army during Civil War. But he hated gutters and he hated fire escapes. So he went to the state in 1886 and says, how about if I put those fire escapes inside the building? So anyway, he said, yeah, sure. So by the way, what do you think of a beautiful wooden staircase?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Wonderful?
Nice.
Solid steel.
What?
Wait. Oh,
Except for the wood here.
solid steel.
Wow.
Huh.
So your feet may burn off, but you're not.
I have never seen that.
But
Nice.
look at the artwork. I mean, those look like wood spindles.
Yeah, they do.
They're probably molds, but they're,
Yeah, they're
That's
probably
cool.
casted, but they look great.
But even though,
But now that you pointed it out, I see all the metal bolts and I see all the.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now you've seen Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, this looks familiar.
Remember, Dufresne, open up this door.
Yeah.
Open it up. And
yeah.
so this is the what we call the Shawshank Suite. That's where he put his feet up and played the music. This is the room. That's the warden's room,
Yeah.
and we pretty much take care. This is where the Hollywood tour starts.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I love that.
Oh.
There were 6 hammers.
6 hammers throughout the whole movie?
Yeah, well, there were 6 of them. This is just a portrayal of that.
Yeah.
But the one that they showed on the movie was no, because he wrote through all this. But I mean, it was probably made that way. But there were 6 of them in the movie. Just the way that door had 7 panels.
No way.
Okay, Frank Darabont was a freak for. He had to be perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And the first time he broke it, I'll just give you the first one. It was a slit about this big. It had a fall right, it had a sound right, and when they opened the door, it had to open right. So anyway.
Holy cow.
One of my
Nice.
first experiences here actually happened on these steps. It was with Greg and I.
Yeah.
Greg was in the lead. We were coming down the steps and he had his video recorder going. And we both heard between us. And
Wow.
I said, "Was that you?" And Greg stopped and goes, "Oh, I thought that was you." We got it on video, so that was really cool.
Oh, that's
So that's
really-
one of the experiences that we had on these steps. And then when we go up to the 3rd floor, I also say shadow people up on that floor. So,
Wow.
Now you're going to hear experiences like that throughout this entire video. Kathy just has so many cool ghost stories because she's been there for so long. Her and her husband
Yeah.
Greg, who run ParaPsyCon, they just have so many stories to tell. So if you do go to ParaPsyCon, definitely ask them. If you're into hearing ghost stories, ask them about their experiences there, and
Of
they'll be sure
course.
to tell you
I
about it.
wish.
So this next part of the video covers the Shawshank Redemption movie. It features movie props and the history of making the movie and some behind-the-scenes footage and write-ups and all different things like that. Probably one of our most favorite spots.
Yes, so we're going to be continuing these clips right here with a view into the iconic movie Warden's office.
And here it is. Here's the warden's office. And look, there's the safe in the wall.
Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for this because I'm too afraid to realize about that, so yeah.
Jeez.
I did watch Saint Redemption
Look
that
at
I,
the view.
that I remember.
There's
I
the
think I
warden
do.
Right there from
I don't
the
know.
movie. And this is the window he looks out and sees all the government cars showing up. They know they're in trouble. And then you know how the movie ends. But wow.
Yeah, I bet we'll get copyrighted
Looks
for
like
that.
he just got up and
so,
left.
yeah.
We're in his office. Look at, there's the safe in the wall. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. I like how they covered things up safely like this.
Yeah.
I love this.
Isn't that amazing?
You're still able to get up close.
Yeah. In the movie, that was covering the safe, and then you'd open that, and the safe was hidden behind it. Isn't that cool? That's the actual one.
That's cool.
Okay, pretty
Yeah.
cool, right?
Awesome.
I'm sorry, you have to stay here.
Oh!
part of the Reformatory now.
Do you notice something different about these bars in the window?
They don't look that sturdy, I'll tell you that.
No, it's probably because they're made out of wood.
All of that is wood?
Yes. Now, in 1993 and 94, was Shawshank Redemption.
I thought they didn't metal.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we took pictures up front, we took the whole building.
Sure.
In 1997, we filmed Air Force One. So if we would have shown Air Force One with
Yeah.
the front of the building, what would the people say? Oh, that's Shawshank.
Yeah.
So what we did is we carved this area out and made this a Russian gulag. Yes. Okay, that gate out there is made out of fiberglass and metal.
No way.
Okay, you want to hear? Want me to tell the backstory to it?
Sure.
Okay, so anyway,
I like the backstory.
the backstory is this. When we filmed it, and you know the premise of Air Force One. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we filmed it, we told the governor, and we told the mayor of Mansfield, we told Mansfield Police, the fire department, the National Guard. We had to tell the National Guard because if you remember what was there,
Helicopter.
a Russian helicopter.
Yeah.
A Russian helicopter. Okay. So this is coming right out of the Cold War.
Oh no.
Think about it.
Oh no.
1994. So they forgot to tell the prison behind us.
Oh no.
Oh.
Now remember, if he comes down, by the way, we'll go over there, comes
Yeah.
down there, comes down these stairs, out here, and then like in most prison movies, the alarms go up.
Oh, yeah.
They shoot him dead, going to that. So that helicopter and everybody's shooting, they're freaking out at Mancy.
Yeah.
Okay, not this one, because this was built in 1998. So they shut it down, they get dressed in riot gear. They come
No.
around here. So I think, that's crazy enough, but could you imagine if he was part of the cast?
Yeah.
And you say,
I don't remember that.
where's it say in there that 24 armed guards come here to protect little Mansfield from Russia? But that's
That
so
is
needless to say,
crazy.
That's crazy.
anytime we do anything here,
Yeah. You have to
Well,
tell
at
him.
least you know this already if something did happen.
okay,
Now, on the paranormal side,
Yes.
this hallway and everything, it's going to lead to where you guys were yesterday, where the warden's quarters were.
Oh, yeah.
The very first tour that I was on, we came down, and it didn't look like this, came down the hallway, and I came up to the one door, and I smelled rose perfume.
Oh.
And I called it out, and the lead said,
let's take a look.
the lead was like, well, I've got more. I want to go over here too.
Okay, yeah.
The lead was like, you're having a paranormal experience because, as you remember, the rose perfume was what Helen was. Now, in this area too, down this hallway, there's a kitchen. The chaplain's, that was the chaplain's office, or was this? This was the chaplain's office. So their family kind of stayed in this area a little bit, but there was a kitchen back there. At night, you get the family smells. You smell pancakes. You smell syrup. You smell bacon. You smell coffee and everything right in this general area. Now, about a year ago, Greg, there's a camera right there.
Mm-hmm.
Greg actually saw a white light that came in and landed on the floor there. It was like a door.
Really?
Yeah, so there's still activity that goes on in this floor. And to be honest, I think that it's picking up even more because the escape rooms and everything that are going on upstairs, they're starting to come down.
Ah, okay.
I was wondering, why do we keep doing cuts while I'm talking?
Because you were talking too much.
You just totally cut me off. Maybe I was saying something important.
I promise you it wasn't important.
Moving on.
Come on.
So you heard Kathy mention escape rooms. Now you're probably wondering what that's all about. They actually had professional escape rooms built right into OSR. Now one cool thing that's happening this year at ParaPsyCon is they are doing an escape room raffle. And they're selling tickets up until May 11th. And if you win, you and a friend get to join one of 3 teams. One team is Satori and I, along with the godfather of the paranormal, John Zaffis. He's been a huge mentor to us as far as the museum and the haunted objects go. So he's going to be on a team with us. And then there's going to be 2 other teams that feature paranormal people from different TV shows and things like that. So if you're picked as a winner, you hopefully get to join our team and beat the other 2 teams in one of these escape rooms.
I would join you.
So that's what that's all about. But first, before we get up there, you're going to hear all about the escape rooms in a second. We made a quick pit stop in Helen's area, Helen's room.
Yeah, so a little bit about Helen's room. Arthur Glackey was actually the last warden to live on the premises in the 1950s. And one day his wife Helen was reaching for her jewelry box in the closet and accidentally discharged a firearm that was Arthur's. She did initially survive the wound, but she did pass of pneumonia 3 days later with complications from that accident. So this room you're about to see is where it all happened, and Arthur actually continued to be on board with Ohio State Reformatory until 1959. He actually had a heart attack in his office.
Yeah. So the other thing that happens at ParaPsyCon is they do ghost hunts, celebrity ghost hunts, and Satori and I were a part of one last year. We're going to be a part of one this year. And last year's ParaPsyCon, this was actually our area to investigate with everyone. And one of the big claims there is Helen's rose-scented perfume. That's something that kind of whiffs through that area quite often, and a lot of people experience that.
I think a couple people we investigated with definitely smelt that perfume. So if you get to investigate that floor, if you do purchase tickets on ParaPsyCon.com and come investigate with everybody and get to that floor, you might smell it too.
Now, this was Helen's bedroom. It was all pink. And she has been seen coming and going in this room.
Really?
And beautiful. There's some...
Now, this is the warden. He has all 3 floors. It's the warden's
Wow.
cell. Underneath this is the cafe and the museum stuff.
Wow.
Okay.
I remember standing here and investigating.
Oh, is this the floor we
This
investigated?
was- yes, this was the floor.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is Helen's room. And last year at ParaPsyCon, they do paranormal investigations, and Satori and I were investigating up here with Dave Schrader and Shane Pittman, and we had a group up here, and this is one of the rooms we investigated, and she gives off the scent of rose perfume quite a lot. So there are investigations again this year at ParaPsyCon, so if you want to attend one, definitely check it out. Now, the other new thing is escape rooms. They have actual escape rooms here at Ohio State Reformatory. And myself, Satori, and John Zaffis, the haunted collector, our mentor, who helped us with the museum, all 3 of us are going to be in an escape room. And some of you have the chance to join in on that escape room experience as well. So definitely check out ParaPsyCon's website
I hope I can
and see
get-
how you can maybe try to escape with us. It sounds pretty cool.
I'll escape.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and escape with Cody and Satori.
It looks cool.
I hope. That'll be so cool.
Wow.
Hopefully.
So again, all the money raised from the tours and ParaPsyCon and the events they have here goes right back into the building to help make these awesome displays and help fix the place up so it's here for more generations to come. So I think it's just a great thing all around. All right, so right now we're with Logan and Joey, and they help run the escape rooms here that I was just mentioning at Ohio State Reformatory. And Satori?
All right, so since we're going to be a part of the escape room during ParaPsyCon, can I at least ask, I know you can't give any information, how hard would you say it is to escape?
So we've been running this since August, and we've had hundreds of runs at this point, and it's looking at about 60% of people get out of the room, so it's not super difficult, I would say, but it definitely makes you work for sure. And if you're a big Shawshank fan, there's a lot of nods to the movie in the room as well.
All right, we're gonna have to watch the movie, and I think we're still gonna be in that 40% that don't make it out, but we'll see.
So there's 3 teams that are going to have the chance to escape, and we're going to be bringing some of the winners along with in our team, right? Us and John Zappis. So we're going to win. We're going to win. So definitely check out the description for more information on how you can possibly get in on this and have the chance to do it and be a part of our team, because again, we're going to win. So do it.
Of course.
All right, I have one more question. So, have either of you ever experienced anything on the unusual side while working here?
Actually, running the escape rooms, I've had some pretty interesting experiences.
Really?
Again, with the escape rooms, they're built around the rooms themselves, so if anything happens with the rooms, escape rooms, we can just take them down and they'll turn right back into the normal areas.
Wow.
We just started running late night runs. We'll have runs that's like 6:15 to 7:15. And so I was just sitting out here waiting for her to come upstairs, and in the center room, that is the library portion of the escape room. I just kept hearing noises in that room. It kept sounding like people were opening drawers, moving objects in there. And I'm a bit of a skeptic, you know, I've worked in this building, things move, things like that, but that room is completely airtight. There's no windows in there, so,
Sure.
you know, I was sitting there and basically in the complete dark, and I had to go open that door and make sure nobody's in that room because
Yeah.
it sounded like there was just somebody walking around in there. I've never been really scared of this building, but that was something I was definitely like, okay, something's going on.
Yeah, I bet. Very
Like I
nice.
said, the third floor is the most active, one of the most active areas, and third floor east where the escape rooms is a hot spot.
So again, if you're interested in the escape room or a chance to try to escape this really awesome space with all of us at ParaPsyCon, just go to ParaPsyCon.com. Actually hit the raffle ticket information tab and it should bring you to the raffle area for the escape room. Now, I believe entering that raffle ends May 11th and a winner will be drawn on May 12th, so coming up really soon. So now we are starting to get into an area of OSR that kind of changes the whole vibe of this space. Makes you feel a bit uneasy, at least we did. And Kathy's going to be telling us a really interesting story.
Okay, so Greg was leading a group for a private investigation, doing his tour, and I was pushing. So we got over there, and I got a phone call from my son, and it was later at night. It was about 7:30. And I got a phone call from him, and he usually doesn't call me at night. And I knew my grandson was boxing. So I thought something bad happened. So I decided to answer my phone. Normally I don't, because if I'm working, that's what I'm doing. But I thought it was an emergency. So I came through the doorway here, and I walked over here, and I go, hey, what's up? And just as I said that, I felt somebody behind me. Now, the only people in the building are over here. I felt somebody behind me, so I go like this, and I go like this, and it's like 6'2" guys standing there.
Really?
And I just, and my grandson's going, grandma just cussed, you know. And my son's going, what's wrong? And I go, somebody's here that's not here. I gotta go. Goodbye. And I hung up. And as I was looking this way, this guy went like this. He just goes. He gets down on all fours right here and turned into a ball of light.
Really?
You know those lights that you touch with the electrical?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like, and then immediately I was like, somebody's playing with me. Somebody just threw a ball down here. You
Sure.
know, because I want to be logical.
Yeah, rational, yeah.
And I'm looking, and all of a sudden the ball starts moving.
Wow.
Around the ball. So I walk towards it. It gets right out to where that light is coming out of the doorway there. And I flip on my flashlight, and it disappeared. Now, this is the creepy crawler hallway.
Okay.
So there's a lot of the guy that gets down on the all fours and everything. It was mainly in the creepy hallway that's down there.
Oh, great.
There's a camera there.
Okay.
There's a camera there. So this would have gotten full view.
Yep.
Deep recording at the time.
No.
But you could see me flip on my flashlight, and you could see me running in there going,
So obviously there was response,
Yes.
like we caught your interaction. That's amazing.
And now, I've been coming here since 2004, and this happened 2 years ago, so it took me that long to see a full body apparition right next to it.
Wow.
So that's,
Wow.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when you come into this area, I mean, obviously the paint's off, but there's a whole different vibe
Vibe,
here.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like everything else. Every time I come and turn the lights on and stuff like that, it's just kind of different up here. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is.
I will say, I feel like I'm being watched walking down the hallway. Like you just have that feeling like somebody's around and you're
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like confined a little
Well, this
bit.
is a big area.
This is a
But
very,
you know why?
very active.
Because once you get through those doors up there, you're no longer in the domestic aspect of the reformatory. That is the chapel. And on each side, on the west side of the chapel is the attic, which is the west cell block. On the east side of the chapel, through that door, is the east side, which is cell blocks. So now you're really getting, once you get through those doors up there, you're getting into Prisonville.
Do you guys feel what we were feeling while in that space through the screen? Because I don't know how obvious it is watching it from your perspective, but it was really intense in this area of OSR.
Now remember, we were in the administrative part of the building, and we're slowly making our way to where all the inmates were held. So the vibe is slowly changing the closer we get to that area. So it's very interesting. But our next stop was definitely a very creepy room.
If you guys don't know much about investigating Ohio State Reformatory, you should really hear about the chair challenge.
So
What is
there's a lot of things that go on, and what we like to do is what's called the chairman challenge. And we have somebody sit in the chair, because sitting in the chair, we can make moves and then vibrates and move a little bit and that chair.
Oh, what
so
I
it can be
guess.
touched and stuff. We also scratched in this room. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And that's not just during the investigating, that happens like ghost walks and stuff. With heavy jackets and clothing and everything on, but there's no way we can get to that. But we always have somebody sitting in the chair,
Yeah.
15 minutes, all by themselves.
Ooh.
Oh no! Cut it!
That is
Cut it back!
creepy.
No! Cut it back on! Cut it back on! Dog! What the?
Somebody do that, and his girlfriend, I'm Chris.
Oh yeah.
He was, and we asked him about it, he was sitting in his chair, and Gina was in there.
Yeah.
Gina and I were sitting in the hall, and all of a sudden, this loud crash. And we come running to the door, and I'm saying, oh, something was facing the wrong way. Here's something that had been thrown onto the ground over there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
No kidding.
Pretty cool. Now, you notice there's no windows or anything
No.
in this room? Nobody really knows what the room is.
Okay. Now I understand why that
And also,
room was very creepy.
Am I right, you mentioned that if you worked here, you lived here?
Yeah.
Well, if you lived across the street and you didn't want to wake your families up, they would let you sleep in here. A bonk go off, you're not gonna hear anything.
Oh yeah. Look how thick it is. Wow.
Can I give them a story,
Yep.
about a Derek
Please
story?
do.
So typically in the morning, we'll come in and all these lights are closed. So typically what we'll do, we'll go like this, and if the chair is askew, because everybody likes to move it and make
Right.
your ghost there. So anyway, we come in, and he hears in that corner, leave, and he left.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
So you see that X?
Oh, yeah.
We call that the Schofield X.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
And it's architecturally designed that way. It comes in from each one of the four windows, and it's always like this. It doesn't move, it doesn't stay. 365, 366 days a year, morning, noon, night. This is right here. So if you went into the middle of it and you folded the building like this symmetrically from there to all the way up, it said in 2019 when we brought in the laser measuring equipment, that we're 1/8 of an inch off.
Wow.
Okay, so, well, what's the big deal there? Well, the big deal is that there was no electricity here in 1896. It probably didn't come till like, after 1910.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so we call that scope X to find out also that he's done many of the buildings in Cleveland and stuff like that with the same X.
Wow.
So it was a little eccentric. Anyway, there are those who would say that this is supposed to be the entry to another dimension.
Sure.
something like that.
So if you drew a line right down the center of the building, it would fold up like a butterfly.
Yes, and we're 1/8 of an inch off. You can't even get that in today's days.
No, yeah.
We always say after we do that, that make them like they used to.
No.
But anyway,
Wow.
these are where the single guards live.
Okay.
And of course, there is a washroom there, and of course, you can't miss.
Oh, Brooks. Wow.
Oh. Oops.
Oh.
That's not the original.
Yeah. Just a recreation, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
so cool to see Brooks's room at OSR. He was probably my most favorite character in the movie. But next, Tom started leading us into the chapel, and the chapel felt very peaceful and calm, probably the most peaceful area of OSR. And then after the chapel was the attic, and that has a totally different vibe than the chapel.
I had some amazing activity happen to me in the attic area, so come along with us.
Notice this door,
Yeah.
okay? And notice this door, and then notice this door.
Holy cow, yeah.
Okay, you're no longer in, I mean, that is, if you think about strategically, that's where the guards live, okay?
Yeah, so they weren't ready for it.
And then you close this, so that's closed off, so they had to go to the docks, you went up here.
Okay.
Okay, if you came into the chapel, those doors were closed. That's the west cell block, that's the east cell block. So they kind of knew what they were doing when they put people here. Wow. So this is the chapel. Are you going to go into the? I'm going to go. Okay. Into the west cell block. That's what we call the attic.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Now, I
wow.
don't know if you noticed, doesn't it feel
It does, yeah.
like very peaceful? Now, I have seen shadows in here and everything, but I get a more peaceful feel in this area because I think this is where people come to talk.
Right, yeah.
So,
This is like one of the big paranormal.
yeah. Oh, yeah. This is our challenge here is you have to go all the way to the back of the room in the dark and sit for 15 minutes. Right when you have to.
And there's usually,
Really?
There's usually like a sewing bee of chairs back there.
I think I know where we're going. Cody, remember after
Oh.
we were told that,
Okay, so people, the ParaPsyCon was up in, a place, and we want you to come to it. And they brought us here, and this was where I saw my first full body, like,
Back there.
person. It
Oh.
was right here. We're standing there, and it looked like someone walked by, and then I was like, oh, is someone coming in? They're like, no. And I was like, oh, wait, they didn't have a flashlight. How were they just walking by in the dark?
I have a question. Kathy, you want to go on the east side from here, or you want to walk down from here?
Oh, we'll just walk around.
Okay, I'll walk it up here.
All right, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes up here. I have seen a lot of things, what you're talking about, I have seen. Greg and I one time, when we do tours, somebody has to stay by the light switch while everybody's down there. When they shut off the lights, we shut off the lights here. Sometimes there's a lot down here, it's active down here. So Greg has to come together down there.
Wow.
Be alone.
Yeah.
And we had somebody walk through on the chair.
yeah.
So Greg went out and can't get out. And I was sitting there. Did you hear when you stepped on that metal that went dunk dunk?
Yeah, yeah.
I was sitting onto the side and he was over here and it did that. It went dunk dunk. Somebody came in and was sitting there.
Wow.
That was Facebook. Larry Horton.
Yep.
When he was down there, the lights were off, and he heard somebody rushing at him like this, rushing at him. I was watching the Facebook Live and I heard.
Oh, wow.
He lived on the light switch fast enough.
Oh, no. Wow.
What do you smell?
Yeah,
What do you smell?
like
Is that
fire.
Fire?
Hmm.
It doesn't always smell like this.
Really?
Yeah, but this is one of the other phantom smells.
Like smoke is like,
Because they got it with their clothing and everything.
Oh, wow.
But it doesn't always smell like smoke.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely smell it.
But yeah, this is, you can tell, this is a hot spot.
Yeah. We were almost hearing noises in those back rooms over there.
You can hear that too. So everybody just sits here, and you probably did that when you were here.
Yeah.
And you just watch forward because you can see the shadow people walking back and forth. Sometimes you see like
I almost just peed my pants. I don't know what that was. I was like, whoa, activity is that intelligent in here? That was so crazy. I was like, did anybody else just hear that?
Okay. Rule number 1. You never saw me like this. even though I still look very
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they got their inmate numbers and everything on it. And their history right there.
All the writing.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys see
Oh, I think that is so cool.
How do you say
that? What is it?
that? A name.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
says a name and then it says robbery.
Yeah, and see the 33091, that's his inmate number.
Yeah, robbery.
You take a great picture. This is a great picture right here.
Alright, let's see
Oh my goodness gracious! I am not a heights
it.
person.
Ooh, I am.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
here 135 years. We've had nobody for
I.
Look how high up we are. See those people down there?
Oh God, the fear of the heights that I'm
All the
afraid
cells.
of.
Jeez.
My God, I just want to go downstairs.
Imagine having to go up to these stairs, down these stairs, being a warden, and look at the cells, how small they are.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Wow, tiny.
Jesus.
All right, this is our last time we're going to stop the video and annoy you. So, last stop of this mini tour is the bullpen area. And this area is actually where Satori, myself, and John Zaffis are going to be set up with our haunted items for
A
ParaPsyCon.
few of them.
We're going to be each bringing some from our museums, and we're going to have them set up in this area. And this is where you can come and get close with the objects and read their backstories and things like that. We'll have our books there for sale as well. John also has a bunch of books that he's written that will also be for sale.
And Handmade by Haas will be there too, set up. So I will have some jewelry from my mom and I small business.
Yep, so again, there's just so many vendors that are going to be there and other paranormal personalities. It's just really cool. And, oh, I forgot the most important part. The food trucks. They have food trucks out front.
They do.
Probably the best French fries I've ever had is from one of those food trucks out front at ParaPsyCon. So
I've
you
had
definitely
food
have to
truck for
check
a
that
while.
out. And check out the VIP party as well. That's happening on Friday night, the 16th. And there may still be tickets left for that. I'm not sure. But again, everything's at ParaPsyCon.com. So check out this last stop. They actually had some really cool props in this area as well.
Okay.
And the bullpen is where, well, it used to be the dining room. The bullpen is where the guards hung out.
On the line.
Look at this. So there's the tunnel that Dufresne started digging. They have it as a prop here. Isn't that cool? Just a movie prop. If you come over here, look at here's the long tunnel.
Wow.
Look at that.
Oh.
Probably can't see too good because of the reflection, but that's the tunnel that he escaped out of. All right, so we're ending this video in one of the cell blocks here at Ohio State Reformatory. Wow. This place is just so massive.
It is really cool. We can't give it all away, so we didn't put it all in. You're going to have to
Gotcha.
come and visit the building and see if you experience anything for yourself.
Yeah, again, we only showed you a tiny bit. Come for a
Gotcha.
tour. They have audio tours, guided tours. They have like behind the movie tours, all different options.
Yeah,
And
they
if
have tours where you can even get into places that they don't show
yeah,
on a regular
like
tour.
behind the scenes things. So if you come to ParaPsyCon, they're offering tours, I believe at a discount, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it's a
mistaken.
really good package deal.
So definitely come if you can make it. Again, it's going to be so cool. John Zaffis, like I said, one of our mentors, we're going to have objects set up along with him from his museum as well, right in the bullpen, which is right in front of us. So if you're into haunted objects, you can come say hi to us and see some of our items.
And come try their new escape room. It looks sick. We couldn't show it because obviously it's secretive. We didn't even really get to see much. We just kind of got to see the
Gotcha.
door because
Gotcha.
they don't want to
It's
tell
secret.
us before ParaPsyCon.
Yeah, we can't cheat.
We can't cheat.
We can't cheat.
But
Yeah,
definitely
right.
come and try it. It sounds amazing.
I get it, I get
I'm
it.
so excited.
And if you want
I
a
know
chance
it's-
to do the escape room with Satori and I and John, because he's going to be on our team, then check the description below for
Alright.
more information.
All right, guys, like, subscribe, and let us know what you think. Bye.
Bye. Well. What?
Oh! God, I wasn't expecting that.
Bless you. Bless you, Satoya. Oh my god. That's the proper way to end it right there. But I ain't gonna lie though. I never tried any other games that, well, besides like from arcades and do all the bouncy houses stuff, but I never tried any other experience that, you know, when it comes for, well, only for October, because, you know, the whole escape room type of stuff. It looks very interesting because, I don't know, maybe it might be a thing too, because it might help me so far of seeing it, because, I don't know, because, believe me, believe me or not, I just know it for a fact that I would love to join the team with Cody and Satori. That's all I wanted, is to be a team with Cody and Satori. It just helps me so far. And hey, if you're watching this, I want to join your team. I want to join Team Cody and Satori. Hopefully I might. I don't know. I'm gonna see what I can figure it out. I don't know, but it said it happens on next. Yeah, it said it happens on next month, on May. Cause I think it's happened on May. 16 throughout and 18. So I really wish I can travel for the first time. I just really wish, because even though I'm gonna be doing some vlogs, but I gotta be careful because I don't want to like break any rules and stuff, and you know, I just have to be careful next time. But yeah, comment down below what y'all think about this, man, and I'll see you next rest video. Woo!